winter storm slamming the East Coast right now. March coming in like a lion with the second of 3 back-to-back storms bringing snow from the Midwest to the Northeast. Plows in full force as drivers deal with dangerous roads. Our weather team tracking the new major storm racing across the country.
Caught on camera, wild shootout. A man takes aim at police who return fire. A terrifying scene just across the street from an elementary school. Parents ducking for cover as the school goes into lockdown.
A father's plea to find out who was behind the wheel of a van that crashed into his son's car, sending it tumbling.
Somebody out there knows what happened.
And a major break in the investigation this morning.
Dramatic rescue moments after this plane smashes into a house. A hero rushing in to save this teen wedged in a wall.
Can we move up?
What he's saying about those chaotic moments.
Ignition, liftoff.
And liftoff, the major step forward in returning Americans to space from American soil. SpaceX's Crew Dragon on its way to the International Space Station with a dummy named Ripley along for the ride.
Live from ABC News in New York, this is Good Morning America.
And good morning, America. So much to get to this morning. Let's start with the latest winter storm to slam the Northeast.
Snow coming down right now from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts, where they could see nearly a half-foot in Boston.
And in Philly, the storm causing serious crashes this morning. It is the second snowstorm to hit the Northeast this week, and a third one is right on its heels. Rob is in New York Central Park with the very latest. Rob, good morning.
Hey, good morning, and you forgot to mention it is March 2nd, so we're into March now, which officially is meteorological spring. But here comes the snow for the second day in a row, and we're not done with this one. We've got another one behind it. It's accumulating and causing all sorts of problems here in the Northeast and across a huge part of the country.
This morning, heavy snow coming down as this late winter blast hits the Northeast. Millions from Philly to Boston and the bullseye. In New York, snow piling up, at least 4 inches expected here. The Midwest also dealing with a blast of winter, creating dangerous conditions on the roads. In Minnesota, reports of more than 300 crashes. These vehicles left abandoned after they spun out onto the side of I-94. In Wisconsin, slick conditions causing this pickup to slip and slide. Snowy conditions stretching to Virginia, too. This accident on the Beltway outside of D.C. turning deadly. And in South Carolina, trees uprooted and this home damaged after a possible tornado tore through.
All right, so we have a severe weather component to this as well, and the first of 2 pulses that are coming through. The back edge of this is already beginning to swing through the New York City area. In Boston, you're about to get into it as well, and this is pretty heavy, packable snow, so difficult to shovel. Here it is on the radar. You see it there, the I-95 corridor. We already have watches up for the next storm that's coming in, hitting the Pacific right now. So winter storm warnings posted for the central U.S. and watches up for the Northeast as this thing exits 2, 3 to up to 5 inches of snow in some spots, and then a double whammy of storms hitting the West Coast right now, and that one is going to get into the Central Plains tomorrow with heavy snow across the central part and severe weather across the southern part. And we could see, by the time this is all said and done, significant snows across the I-95 corridor. It does move out pretty quickly, but in spots we could see over a foot of snow, likely a good swath of 3 to 6 inches of snow for the morning rush on Monday. We'll talk more about the severe weather component to this in just a few minutes. Guys, back inside to you.
All right, thanks, Rob. And we, of course, will be watching that all morning. Now, a dramatic video showing a shootout that happened near an elementary school.
ABC's Stephanie Ramos is in Washington with the moment police took down that suspected gunman. Stephanie, good morning.
Good morning, guys. Some really intense moments near this Kansas school. Police exchanging gunfire with a suspect just as kids at the school across the street were about to be dismissed. This wild shootout in Mission, Kansas caught on camera. Police say they responded to this home Friday after a mother said her son in his early 20s has a gun and is shooting randomly inside the house.
It looks like there was a wall that maybe he was shooting at, and the bullets basically they traveled. So, and it looked like they landed and hit the school.
At one point, you see the suspect come out of the house and fires at police. Police fire back. Police say the suspect was shot multiple times before they were able to take him into custody in stable condition. But as this all played out, just across the street, adults at this elementary school rushed children to safety. You could see the playground over the officers' shoulders.
There was reports of gunshots heard from the east of Highlands Elementary School.
Terrified parents racing to the scene to pick up their children.
It looks like they did their job and the police department did what they were supposed to do to protect our kids. So I feel very grateful.
Some parents even taking cover themselves inside the school.
Just heard some random pops. Wasn't sure what it was, but kind of had a good idea.
He's in kindergarten, so my biggest fear sending him to school was something like that ever happening.
Police say the suspect had initially been in his room shooting at his wall that faces the school. Bullets went through the wall, hitting a van parked outside. Bullets also struck the front of the school. No children were hurt. Guys.
All right, thank you, Stephanie Ramos. Now to a scare at a London airport, forcing passengers to evacuate a plane using the emergency chutes. ABC's Jennifer Eccleston has more from our London bureau this morning.
Good morning. Indeed, frightening moments at London Stansted Airport overnight. Here you can see emergency vehicles racing to help passengers now stranded on the tarmac. You can hear some people yelling amid the confusion. Moments earlier, the Laudamotion Airbus A320 started its ascent to Vienna, Austria, but then aborted takeoff, coming to an abrupt stop. The crew shouting, "Evacuate," and triggering emergency slides. Passengers recalling a terrifying scene. The sound of a big bang and a flash of orange light just seconds after the plane started to take off.
You don't know if it's going to do anything, if it's going to catch fire, explode, you don't know.
Laudamotion issuing a statement overnight that the plane suffered a suspected engine problem. 8 people are reported to have been treated for injuries, and Stansted Airport was forced to temporarily divert flights and shut its runways to safely deal with this emergency. Guys, one of the passengers said it was her first time on a plane, and after this experience, guess what? It might be her last.
Don't blame her. Jennifer Eccleston from our London bureau, thanks so much. Now to the major break in the intensifying manhunt for a hit-and-run driver wanted in a horrifying crash in Florida.
That crash, which as you can see was caught on camera, sent one car tumbling. And this morning, we're hearing from the father of a teenager who was badly hurt in this whole thing. ABC's Ariel Reshef is here with more. Ariel, good morning.
Good morning to you guys. Overnight, authorities confirming they have impounded the van they say they believe caused this horrific crash. Take a look at that. The father of the teenage victim tells us he saw that now viral video before he even got to the hospital. He is now speaking out as his son fights for his life.
This morning, an emotional plea from the father of 19-year-old Jackson Kelly after a van plowed into his son's car, leaving him in critical condition.
My child is lucky to be alive. Somebody out there knows what happened, and they know the person that was driving the car.
The terrifying crash caught on surveillance cameras Thursday in Sarasota, Florida. Watch as the van tries to make a turn into a gas station, swerving into oncoming traffic, slamming into Jackson's sedan, sending it tumbling at least 4 times toward a hotel pool. It smashes into a concrete barrier before coming to rest on its roof.
People were hollering, "Call 911," and it was just a bit of chaos at first.
Panicked bystanders racing to help.
I didn't know what to do. I mean, till somebody come with the ambulance. That's the only thing we had to wait on, because he was bruised up pretty bad.
But the driver of the van taking off less than 5 seconds after impact.
To see a car crash with that violence and velocity, clearly that person was running from something.
This morning, Florida authorities confirming after a days-long search, they found the van, but so far, no arrests.
It's unforgivable. No matter what, even if there's nothing you can do, you need to stop and see if you can do something.
As Jackson's family holds vigil at his bedside, praying for him to recover.
This isn't about social media and seeing the perfect storm of a wreck. It's about doing the right thing and not just sitting there reacting to a video and saying, "Oh my God, did you see that video?" It's about do something to help the person that is responsible serve justice.
Now, his father says Jackson is a beloved basketball player, student, brother, and son, and that the community is now rallying around him. According to the family, guys, doctors say they are cautiously, very cautiously optimistic about Jackson's progress. Of course, anyone with information about this horrific crash is asked to come forward to police.
Let's hope they're right about Jackson. Thank you, Ariel. Really appreciate it. Now to Major League Baseball this morning, looking into an incident between the CEO of the San Francisco Giants and his wife.
The two caught on camera in a physical altercation in public. ABC's Marcy Gonzalez is in Los Angeles with what the couple is now saying. Marcy, good morning.
Hi, guys. Good morning. Overnight, Larry Baer's wife said she was not hurt during this argument. We are now hearing from both of them about what they call an embarrassing incident that police say they are now looking into. This morning, this public fight between San Francisco Giants CEO Larry Baer and his wife is under investigation. Oh my God! TMZ Sports posting this video showing Baer aggressively trying to grab a cell phone out of her hand. You hear her scream as she topples out of her seat onto the ground. In a second clip, with Pam Baer still shouting in the background, her husband tells her to stop. Stop. And walks away.
Whether it's actually domestic violence, violence by itself, whatever it is, it looks terrible. It looks absolutely terrible.
The president of the Giants for more than a decade telling the San Francisco Chronicle, "My wife and I had an unfortunate public argument related to a family member, and she had an injured foot and she fell off her chair in the course of the argument." The couple later releasing a joint statement saying, "We are deeply embarrassed by the situation and have resolved the issue."
Major League Baseball cannot tolerate this. The visual is terrible.
And MLB says the organization is gathering more information about this incident. And overnight, Pam Baer released a statement to ESPN to clarify what happened, saying she'd taken her husband's cell phone and was refusing to return it. She backs up her husband's statement about a foot injury causing her to lose her balance, adding, "Larry and I have always been and still are happily married." Guys.
Major League Baseball taking a closer look at that video. Marcy, thanks so much in Los Angeles for us this morning. We do want to turn now to President Trump facing backlash over his comments about North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, as well as the top-level security clearance for son-in-law Jared Kushner.
Two big stories this morning, and ABC's White House correspondent Tara Palmieri is right there at the White House with how the president is responding to both of them. Tara, good morning.
Good morning, Dan. President Trump left Vietnam without a deal, and now he's facing anger at home over his over-the-top attempt to create a personal relationship with Kim Jong-un, giving him the pass on the death of an American hostage. Overnight, President Trump walking back his stunning defense of Kim Jong-un after accepting that the North Korean dictator didn't know about the torture and imprisonment of 22-year-old Otto Warmbier.
I don't believe that he would have allowed that to happen. He tells me that he didn't know about it, and I will take him at his word. He felt very badly, but he knew the case very well, but he knew it later.
Accused of stealing a political poster, Warmbier was imprisoned for 18 months and died shortly after returning to the U.S. in a coma.
I have made the worst mistake of my life, but please, act to save me.
His parents speaking out in a statement saying, quote, "We have been respectful during this summit process. Now we must speak out. Kim and his evil regime are responsible for the death of our son Otto. No excuses or lavish praise can change that." The president reversing his tone, but still not calling Kim out by name, tweeting, "I never like being misinterpreted, but especially when it comes to Otto Warmbier and his great family. Of course I hold North Korea responsible for Otto's mistreatment and death." Just last year, Trump winning a standing ovation for denouncing Warmbier's brutal treatment at the State of the Union, attended by his tearful parents.
You are powerful witnesses to a menace that threatens our world, and your strength truly inspires us all.
Meanwhile, President Trump facing fire on another front. House Democrats demanding that the White House turn over memos related to Jared Kushner's top security clearance. The White House facing a Monday deadline after the New York Times reported that Trump ordered White House Chief of Staff John Kelly to give his son-in-law the clearance despite the objections of the CIA and White House counsel, something his daughter Ivanka denied.
There are a lot of people that question whether you were given special treatment by the president, overriding other officials. Can you speak to that?
The president had no involvement pertaining to my clearance or my husband's clearance, zero.
The White House refuses to confirm or deny if Kushner got special treatment, but White House counselor Kellyanne Conway said that if the president made that order, it was within his right to do so. Dan?
Tara, thank you. Let's bring in ABC News chief political analyst Matthew Dowd, who joins us from Boston this morning. Matt, let me start with North Korea. We, of course, cannot overlook the overwhelming pain that the family of Otto Warmbier has to be feeling this morning. This whole situation must be wrenching for them. But I just wonder, for the sake of argument, is it also worth looking at this from another perspective? Could Trump make the case that this is all about diplomacy and he's just trying to avoid nuclear war?
Well, Dan, it's a unique approach, one that we've seen no president take, where you basically ignore any human rights violations, and in this case, a specific horrible thing that happened to Otto Warmbier and then obviously affecting his family. I think the problem is he's gone from calling the head of North Korea Rocket Man and saying he's going to release fire and fury, and now talking about they're exchanging love letters. And at some point, we have to ask ourselves, does not saying anything about Vladimir Putin, does not saying anything about the head of North Korea, does not saying anything about the head of the Philippines, does not saying anything about the Crown Prince, does it really serve the country's interest of standing on principles of human rights? But the president has an incredibly unique approach to how he's conducting diplomacy.
Yeah, and so much at stake here, especially we cannot forget about this family in pain. So let me just switch to a more domestic issue here. And we've just come through this week that was dominated by the Michael Cohen testimony, and now we're learning there may very well be more hearings to come. Do you think any of this is going to move the needle with Trump's base, or are opinions basically set in stone?
Well, you know, it's Theodore Geisel, Dr. Seuss's birthday today, and so I'm reminded of what was said in The Cat in the Hat, which was, the mess is so big, the mess is so deep and so tall, we cannot pick it up, there's no way at all. I think the president is being faced now with being accused, and what happened in the testimony, of 7 or 8 felonies: bank fraud, tax fraud, insurance fraud, wire fraud, all sorts of things that were laid out in that. And I think this is going to go on. I don't think it's going to affect his base so much, the third of the country that is stand by him. But really, you have to fundamentally ask, is the president has to move the majority of the country that does not feel he's honest and does not approve of him. And every time these things happen, it solidifies the majority of the country against him. So yes, his base will stay with him, but his base is only a third of the country. He has to figure out a way to move the majority of the country to better support him. Otherwise, he's in a difficult situation heading into a re-election year.
Yeah, and it's a difficult situation for America with just hardening opinions on both sides of this seemingly intractable divide. Matthew Dowd, we really appreciate your analysis and cultural references on a Saturday morning. Thank you very much, sir.
Dr. Seuss this time.
Yeah, that's right. Didn't see that coming.
The range is widening.
Yes, it is. Yeah. It is from Deuce Bigelow to Dr. Seuss.
Goodness.
Yes.
Exactly.
Well, moving along, some terrifying moments in Fort Lauderdale when a small plane came crashing into a high-rise apartment building, hitting between the 16th and 17th floors. Surveillance video shows the plane's final moments, with the pilot trying to pull up as the banner he was flying appears to get caught. That pilot did not survive the crash. The building was quickly evacuated, and incredibly, no one was hurt by the falling debris. Near Houston, the NTSB has recovered the cockpit voice recorder from that Amazon cargo jet that came crashing down last Saturday, killing the 3 crew members on board. Investigators looking into what could have caused the plane to lose control and go into a nosedive before landing there on the ground.
Let's get back to the severe weather slamming the Northeast right now. Rob Marciano is in Central Park, where it is snowing now, Rob, and there's more to come.
There is. I tell you, it's beautiful, isn't it? Is this not gorgeous or what? Even if you don't like winter, you're ready for spring. This is a sight to behold. It does get rather messy, and it is difficult travel, so that's the downside. The other side of this, with this next storm coming in, it's going to bring in some severe weather. So let's go through that across the south, and we've had some of this the past couple of days, but this looks pretty potent with the southern edge of this along the Gulf Coast tomorrow night, especially Hattiesburg along I-10 up to I-20 to Birmingham. Damaging winds, a brief tornado, some large hail. And cold air is going to be dropping in behind the system that is moving rather quickly, so we're not done with the Arctic air. Wind chills Sunday morning are going to be minus 24 in Minneapolis. But look at, as we go through the time here, on Monday afternoon, Monday at high noon, minus 21, the wind chill in Chicago. Measured in the shade, so if you're in the sun, it'll feel a little bit better. But wear the sun sauce because it's the stronger sun. Can't believe that cold air. All right, time now for a look at your local forecast. Here you go.
Hello and good morning, Washington. Meteorologist Alex Liggett. Now, temperatures today, they will approach the 50-degree mark. Morning drizzle, maybe some afternoon sunshine. Tomorrow, though, definitely on weather alert. We will have snow and rain entering the region around midday through the early afternoon. Highs into the 30s, 3 to 6 inches of snow. Some areas locally higher, particularly the higher elevations, mainly to the north and west. 1 to 3 just slushy inches around the D.C. metro.